Me. Um, I just went to the Decibel Magazine tour and the Philadelphia at the Trocadero, second to last date of the tour. As you know, as many of you probably know, this tour consists of Carcass, the Black Dahlia murder, Gorguts, and Noisem. And my date also had the band Died Choking on it. This is the third Decibel Magazine tour, and yeah, I literally bought my ticket to this show the day they went on sale. I'm like, this is going to be one of the best tours of the year, and I have a feeling that will end up in my top 10 for sure. And his lineup is just absolutely incredible. I mean, the top three bands all landed in my top 20 of my favorite albums of 2013. So that's pretty awesome. Two of them in the top 10. And I think Black Diamond was like number 2 or something. So, I'm really stoked for this tour. And so, yeah, let's dive into it. First band was Die Choking. I have no clue if they're local. I don't know where they're really from. They didn't say a whole lot. They came on there and they played very fast. I mean, they're a grindcore band, and I guess in terms of grindcore, they were pretty good. I don't listen to a lot of grindcore, so I can't really say. Grindcore is just not my forte. I'm not really into it. But I mean, I'm not gonna knock them if you know you want to play grindcore. If you're into them, I'm sure they were good. I mean, they were very loud, they were aggressive, they were very fast, at times very groovy, at times very brutal, but yeah, I mean, the only thing is that I feel their showmanship could have been a lot better. Their guitar player literally had his back to the crowd the entire time, and I understand he might be stage fright or something, but I don't really like when bands do that. But I must say that their drummer has some serious fucking talent. I mean, that guy destroyed that kit. Not literally, but just he hit hard, and some of his fills were just insane. His blasts were so fast. But I mean, I guess they're not bad if you're into grindcore. Just not my forte. Next was Noisem. I saw Noisem on the Black Dahlia Murders Into the Ever Black tour that they did last fall with Skeleton Witch and Fallujah and stuff. And I wasn't really digging them then. I don't know what it was, but holy shit did they bring the fucking heat this time. They really kicked off this show well, if you ask me. I was very, very much into them this time. It was just something about them. Maybe it was, I feel, well, their sound was a lot better this time. Wasn't perfect, but it was better. And I was just digging their songs a lot more. The song Severed. That fucking guitar riff in that song is so just groovy and has so much balls to it, and that was awesome. It was really cool to just kind of look around. Literally everyone was bobbing their head to that song. It was really cool. And I also love the song Split from the Inside Out. I love their mix of thrash and, death metal, and just they're absolute insanity, and they're very young. I mean, they look my age, and I'm only 20, so this band, I feel, has a pretty bright future, so I definitely got to pick up their record, Agony Defiled, I think, something like that. It was good. It was really funny. The singer, they just kind of jump around and bang their heads and throw shit on the ground, and they're a crazy live band to watch. And their singer, the Trocadero stage is 5-6 foot off the floor, above the main level or whatever. And he jumped off so he could, go to the barrier and get scream in the crowd's face. And I guess he just decided, fuck it, because the stage is so high off, I'm not getting back up. And he literally played over half their set just down where the security stands, screaming in everyone's face. It was pretty cool to watch, and I mean, he sounded good. This band is insane live, and I just can't imagine how insane it would be to see this band play in a really small capacity venue that only holds 100, 200 people or whatever. But they were very good. So I'll definitely be picking their album up eventually. Check out Noisem. Very, very energetic, crazy band, must say. So next was Gorguts. Very, a lot of people probably know Gorguts. They're a very legendary band, and their set list was good. I felt. I know a lot of people probably were itching for a little bit more older material. That's what it seemed like the crowd really wanted. They basically played the first 4 tracks off their most recent record, Colored Sands, and then ended with Obscura, the song. And I must say, it was very cool to watch these guys play. And as heavy as their record Colored Sands is, or any other Gorguts material, that translated live flawlessly. They were so fucking heavy, and I loved watching their bassist. I didn't realize how talented he was with his, I think, 6-string, how he would just kind of spread his legs, put his bass up, and just fucking bam! Just destroy the place. He was strumming some power chords with his bass, and literally it felt like the entire room was shaking. It felt like they were going to blow the sound system at the Trocadero. It was crazy. I just thought that they sounded so good. To be completely honest with you, they might have had the best sound of the night. No band had a perfect sound where I would say their sound was flawless. I could hear everything so clear. It was just the perfect sound. No band really had that, including Carcass. Sometimes it just felt like most of the bands, especially the Black Dahlia Murder, kind of sounded like they were playing in a swimming pool, and their amps were put in a swimming pool, and they just turned them on and started playing. I don't know what was up with the sound that night, but Gorguts did probably have one of the better sounds of the night in terms of mixes and stuff. And it was just pretty mesmerizing watching them play their material, because their material's very complicated, very technical, and very, well thought out and put together. And watching them play some of the riffs, such as, the riff in Colored Sands or Forgotten Arrows or something, was just incredible, especially the entire Obscura song. I have no clue what the fuck they do there. They're like playing some shit, and then they bring their hand over and they're pulling it off, and I have no clue what they're doing to get the sound that they are getting, but it was pretty fucking insane to watch. These guys are filled with talent, and I would see Gorguts again. They were very solid live, and I thoroughly enjoyed them, and it just made me want to listen to Colored Sands over and over and over again. So, Gorguts killed it, man. Next was the Black Dahlia Murder. This is the 4th time I've seen the Black Dahlia Murder, and I have to say, this was definitely the weakest performance I've seen from this band. Not in terms of their energy. Their energy was there, as their energy is always there. It's just, it was their sound. Their sound was god fucking awful. I've seen local bands that have a better sound, that had a better mix than they did. You could not hear the guitars at all. And I'm not talking, I couldn't hear the guitar player all the way on the left side of the stage because I was on the right side. I couldn't hear shit. It literally sounded like there was nothing but drums coming through the fucking speakers. And I don't know what, the sound guy was thinking that sounded good. It sounded like shit. Personal opinion, of course, but it just didn't sound good. I could barely hear the guitars. I could barely hear solos. I could barely hear, any of the riffs that were played. All I heard were drums. The drums were way too loud. And Trevor, he was kind of in the middle. Like, sometimes I could hear him really well, sometimes I couldn't hear him at all. It literally felt like they dropped their amps in a 6-foot swimming pool and turned them on and were like, let's start playing. and their sound check was very, very minimal, if at all, which that could have led to it. I didn't understand why their sound was so balls, but in terms of their performance and their set list, that was phenomenal. I felt like it was a little bit of a greatest hits set list in ways, because, I mean, Black Dahlia Murder, they're kind of a new band, and and they're touring with Carcass and Gorguts, two very old school death metal bands, and there was a lot of older people there, so maybe they were trying to showcase this is who we are to these people, which is completely understandable. So they played songs like "What a Horrible Night to Have Occur," "Statutory Ape," "I Will Return." They always end with that song. Fuck, what else did they play? "Everything Went Black," and they played something else. I forget. But they played 3 new songs. Their beloved "Absentee," "Phantom Limb Masturbation." That is like the heaviest song off of Everblack. And hearing that song live again was just fucking awesome. I love that middle part where, after they say, "I finally feel complete, I am now whole," and that riff after that is just fucking tits, and that was awesome to hear. The whole song was, but if there's any song off of Everblack that I feel is the best live, it's definitely that one. They opened up with "In Hell Is Where She Waits For Me," but out of all the bands, they definitely got the crowd moving and the crowd involved, and I actually heard the crowd singing along a lot, and it was pretty cool. It just felt like a lot of people were there for the Black Dahlia Murder instead of Carcass. And I mean, I was there for everybody that band on the tour, but at least that's what it felt like. And they really got their crowd moving. And Trevor, he's such a funny dude live. They were about to play, I think it was their 34th song, and he said, "I want everybody to," oh fuck, what did he say? Something along the lines of "headbang and make it snow, have all your dandruff come out of your head." And I was like, holy shit, that's funny. And he was, I swear that guy never puts his other arm down. He has the mic up and he's singing, and the other one's up like this, and he's either fist pumping or he's just moving his hand. He never puts his other arm down at all. That's one thing that I noticed. I don't know why it took to the 4th time to notice that, but it's still funny. It never gets old when he takes his shirt off and you see his gut and you see the heartburn tattoo across his gut. That never gets old either. But besides their sound, the Black Dahlia Murder did kill it. They're one of the most entertaining and energetic live bands that you could see. I felt like every single one of them were high as fuck, as the Black Dahlia Murder is known for smoking a lot of weed, but they definitely all looked like it. All of them. But, they were good. I would see the Black Dahlia Murder over and over and over again, because they're just so phenomenal live. So yeah, they were awesome. But, the band that I went to this tour for the most, I went to see Carcass the most out of everybody. I wanted to see them. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. Carcass killed it. However, I watched Cover Killer's video of 5 ways to improve your concert experience, because he said he went and saw the Decibel Magazine tour and the crowd wasn't that great, and I kind of have to agree with him, because I felt like the crowd wasn't that great here either. Bill Steer made so many comments about the crowd not moving and how everyone seemed tired and bored, and he was just like, "It's okay, we're only going to play for 30 more minutes, blah 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 blah," and he seemed frustrated, and I don't really blame him. Now, say what you want, but I'm not the kind that's like, "Yeah, let's get in the pit, I want to hit somebody." I don't really mosh too much. I do every once in a while, but I'm there for the performance, and maybe most of the people were. There was a lot of older people there. Maybe they were there for the performance to watch and to maybe sing along or something like that. So in terms of movement, I don't do much. You can call me a hypocrite or whatever, but the crowd didn't really move that much. I felt like the pit was very small when for the Black Dahlia murder it was fucking huge and all that stuff. But I mean, he seemed frustrated, but at the same time, I felt like they didn't want to be there. I mean, they just had this look on their face like, I just want to get this show over with. This tour's almost done. I'm tired. I've been here on the road for a month now. And they didn't really seem a whole lot into it. Maybe that's just how Carcass is, because this is the first time I ever saw them. But that's the only thing really about their performance that I didn't particularly enjoy. And it wasn't all the time where they just had that look on their face like, can this show be over? I mean, it was just every once in a while. I just felt like they didn't really showcase that much energy at all. When maybe if they would have showcased more energy, the crowd would have, been more energetic. But in terms of their set list, it was fucking flawless in my eyes. Most of their set consisted of new songs from Surgical Steel and from Heartwork. They opened up with Buried Alive. And the new songs they played were just fucking sick to hear. Especially my personal favorite off of Surgical Steel, Unfit for Human Consumption. That song is awesome, and that riff annihilates everything. The really crunchy riff that comes in there, I love that riff. So that was awesome here. Off their new album, they also played Cadaver Pouch Conveyor System, Non-Compliance to ASTM, Standard, whatever, that really long one. The Granulating Dark Satanic Mills, Captive Bolt Pistol, and Unfit for Human Consumption. So yeah, and off of Heartwork they played Carnal Forge, This Mortal Coil, Buried Alive, like I said, and the title track Heartwork. All of those songs were amazing to hear because Heartwork is my favorite album from Carcass. And I felt like seeing Carcass live was kind of like seeing two different bands live because, Surgical Steel and Heartwork are so different from, Putrefaction or, I say it wrong, Necroticism, record from 1991, or Symphonies of Sickness. They're more death metal, more grindcore influenced albums. They're more disgusting albums, very gross records, I have to admit. There's not a whole lot of albums that I almost feel repulsed listening to, except Putrefaction. I listen to that, I'm just like, oh, this is gross, but I love it. But yeah, it felt like it was kind of like a tale of two bands because they would play that material and then it just felt so drastically different from Heartwork or Surgical Steel or something. It was cool, but I felt they definitely put their set list together well to where I felt like it flowed between the really old material and the newer style of Carcass. So they definitely did a good job there. With their older ones, they played really good ones. I loved the track Corporal Jigsaw Quandary off of Necroticism. That was fucking awesome to hear. I love that song. Exhumed to Consume was awesome. And also, Genital Grinder. That was pretty sick to hear. That's a very groovy track. And it was pretty funny. They had this, this little shit, and they played some footage on it, a lot of acts do that. And they just had a penis behind them playing the whole time. I don't know, maybe that was just the immature side of me, but the whole crowd was laughing. It was pretty funny how this penis just came up, and I was expecting them to change it once they started playing the song, but they didn't. So that was awesome. Overall, I felt like their set list was pretty flawless, and they haven't really toured over here in a long time. I'm talking about a full-blown, month-long tour. So it was very cool that they played more of their popular songs, and I enjoyed their set list. Bill Steer is the man, I have to say. He's a very good fucking front man. He cracks a lot of jokes about Philadelphia as a city, and told a lot of stories. And I could sit there and listen to him talk for a long time because he's a very interesting person. And in terms of his vocals and his performance, it was phenomenal. His vocals were spot on, and his range is. I like his range. He has a unique voice when it comes to metal and extreme metal, and it just sounded flawless live. It really did. And their sound was pretty good. I would say Carcass and Gorguts had pretty good sounds. Not perfect, but definitely good. I felt Carcass could have been a little bit louder. I felt that they were a little bit quiet. When it came on, started playing Buried Alive, I was like, you gotta turn this shit up, dog. I want to fucking feel it. And sometimes if it was louder, I would have felt a lot more. But yeah, I loved Carcass. I want to see Carcass again right now. I would definitely see them again. They were very good, and I just hope that they come back because the crowd just was so weak, and whatever. But I was bobbing my head. I was getting it on. Whatever. So yeah, that's all I really have to say. And it was, I just thought it was strange. Well, it's not really strange. How the one guitar player that they have, the blonde haired one, I felt like he should have been in a 70s psychedelic rock band. That's just the kind of look that he had. The jeans were straight out of the 70s. The way he would kind of bop his leg and kind of jump was the 70s. The way he looked playing the guitar was the 70s. I thought it was cool. He looks cool. He's a phenomenal guitarist. But it's just kind of funny that he's in this very gross band that sings about, getting your genitals fucking destroyed or something, and he's over here bopping around smiling, whatever. That's just me being stupid, but it was just something that I thought about. Anything else? I must say that I never realized how good Carcass guitar playing really was, and I appreciate it a lot more now that I saw it. I have to throw it out there. I knew that some of the riffs and solos off of Hard Work and stuff were insane, and just sounded cool. But watching them get played was definitely cool. Their guitar players are top notch, and hearing their guitar harmonies were so cool. Especially a lot of the ones off of Surgical Steel were definitely awesome. That's about it. And they did play something off of Swan Song. They played, where the fuck is it? Keep On Rotting in the Free World. And Bill Steer made some comments about how security needs to lock the doors because no one is allowed to leave because they're about to play a song off of Swan Song. Swan Song's okay. I mean, it's not my favorite by Carcass, but it's okay. Anyways, I'm rambling at this point. This tour ends today. If you're watching this video right now, it's over. So, if you missed it, sorry. Hopefully, Carcass will be back again. Hopefully, all these bands will keep touring. But this is definitely a lineup that I feel if you're a death metal fan, you should not have missed this tour. For sure. If you're a fan of extreme metal, you should not have missed this tour. Carcass was great. The Black Dahlia Murder was good. And Noism was fucking awesome. And Gorguts was fucking awesome. So, definitely the Decibel Magazine 2014 tour was tits, and I can't wait to see what's next year. I really wanted to go in 2012 with Cannibal Corpse, but missed that. Darn. So, anyways, or 2013. What the fuck am I saying? Behemoth was 2012. I'll see you guys around later. If you went to this tour, let me know how you liked it.